Hey guys, in this video I'm going to be unboxing the Canon EOS R6 Mark II, as well as a few other accessories I got while I was at the camera store, and you guys can see what I got. And I'm going to be starting with the stuff that I got at the camera store that was not the camera. There isn't very much, so you don't got to worry about it being a crap ton of stuff to sit through. First, we'll start with some SD cards. These are some rugged SD cards. They are just a faster speed than the ones I have currently. There is 128 gigabyte ones and 256 gigabyte ones. So I have two larger ones for weddings if it ever came down to it that I needed SD cards that large. And then I got two 128 ones for smaller things, as well as if it ever is needed at a wedding. Next is just a ProMaster battery to go along with my new camera. I was going to buy a Canon brand, but the salesman persuaded me to buy off-brand. He said he uses these and he works in the wedding industry as well as a photographer and videographer, so I will trust his judgment and hope this works out well. And then I also got myself an SSD. So at the moment I'm using a rugged hard drive, which is not an SSD, or the hard drive I'm using is not an SSD. And so I would like something that is faster and more reliable to edit on. So I got a SSD, and this is the Armor Portable SSD by Lexar. And it has 2 terabytes of storage. I'll basically use it to upload all my photos onto, edit, and then upload whatever is on there onto my hard drive for permanent storage. And then this can be like just for editing, which will be really nice because right now my hard drive is not slow, but it could be faster. I definitely get frustrated with how slow it takes to load things in Bridge. I get really irritated, as well as I'm hoping that maybe, I don't know, I never even bothered to look it up, that maybe editing off of an SSD will make denoise quicker. I have no clue, that might be up to Photoshop, but we'll see. I just wanted to edit off an SSD anyways, just because from what I have seen and heard, they're just more reliable overall, and you want to keep the other hard drives, which are the, I forget, whatever, the one that's not the SSD, you want to keep those ones for long-term storage. So that's what I'm going to do. We'll see how this goes, but I got this one. And those are the few camera accessories that I got. It added up to a lot of money, so, but I didn't get very much. So now we'll move into the actual camera itself, the Canon R6 Mark II. I'm very excited. We'll see. I actually have already, I will admit, I've already opened it just because I live a solid 4 hours away from where I bought it. So while we were there, I charged up the battery, I turned it on, made sure everything was functional, and then I obviously went home. I just wanted to make sure just in case there's anything wrong. So don't blame me, guys. But now we can unbox it. So, let's see here. So the first thing in it is the insurance or warranty paper. And there is just some instruction manuals. Alright, so I switched up angles here so you guys can see better into the box. So the first thing that you can see here, or we will pull out of the box, is the camera battery. So it does come with one battery. The one that it comes with, the EOS R that I already have, probably won't work. It might, but it might not be fast enough or something. I don't know. It's kind of what the sales guy was saying. But I do have a newer version of these batteries here that should work just fine. So now I have potentially 4 batteries, but I really have 3, whatever. That's no big deal. It's nice to have a bunch of batteries anyways. Up until this point I only had 2 batteries for my Canon EOS R anyways. So that is the battery. Next is the battery charger. So I'll take it out of the bag. And this is what it looks like. I was watching an unboxing video earlier just to make sure that I had everything in the right spots for the box. And someone had a cable right here and it freaked me out because I was like, what? I didn't have that. But it was basically just a converter so they could put this charger into their wall, but they had a different kind of plug-in. I'm sure. So yeah, so this is just the regular camera battery charger. I have the same one as well. So now I have 2 battery chargers, which is actually quite nice because then you're not, say you have something the next day, you're not getting up every few hours to switch out your batteries. You can just have 2 going and you're good to go. All right, we'll take off this plastic. And next that you see is the camera strap. Now the camera straps I don't use. I'm not a fan of large camera straps. I much prefer wrist straps or some kind of smaller wrist holder. But yeah, just because then I don't like having this dangling, and I never really use the neck strap. So then I'm left trying to tangle it around my wrist, and it really just gets in the way. So I don't think I will be using this at all, but it does have the Canon EOS R6 Mark II on there, and then just the plain Canon logo. But it is a nice strap, and it's got this like leather on the other side, and it's nice, and it's black, which is nice because Canon stuff is obviously mostly black, but it's more discreet. It's not a flashy one. But yes, I don't think I will be using this just because I do already have something that I use on my current camera, which I will just be transferring over to my new camera. And last but not least, the main thing that we are all waiting for is the camera. All right, so let's open this up. Okay, so here we have the Canon EOS R6 Mark II. Very nice. Sleek. It's definitely thicker. It feels like more in my hands when I'm holding it than my R6. So this is definitely an upgrade. This camera has less megapixels than my R6, surprisingly. My R6 has about, I think it is 30 some megapixels. It's between 32 and 36 megapixels it has. But this camera has 24 megapixels, I believe. And so that was something that I was a little nervous about, but I don't really crop very big anyways. When you see lots of people on TikTok cropping their photos in very dramatically, I hardly ever do that. I'm a portrait and wedding photographer, so I hardly ever crop in that much because usually my crop is pretty good. I just need to crop to straighten or maybe cut something out of the corner of the photo. So megapixel count is not something incredibly important to me. Mainly it comes down to as long as I have enough megapixels that the couple or whoever is printing the photos can print them to their desired size. And with my R, I really never had that problem, and I don't suspect I will have that problem with this one either, but it was something that deterred me just slightly. But overall it is a better camera, so it wasn't too big of a deal for me. And if worst comes to worst and I really do need the megapixels, I do have my R now as a backup, so I can just pull it out, take the photos that I need to take with it, and then switch back to this if need be. So on the back, you can see it has all of the buttons and stuff, and it's this one that is different. It has the rotating like sorry. It's got like this, I don't even know what to call it, but it just goes around, and that's how you control where you want things to be selected or how you go through your photos. On my R, it's just an up, down, left, or right button. It also doesn't have a screen. On my EOS R, it has a little screen up here that shows kind of your current settings. I hardly ever looked at it anyway, so it's not really something I'm going to miss. It makes it feel a little bit less updated, but it's really not something that I used at all anyways. But one thing I do like is it does have an actual photo video knob selection. In my R, you have to go into mode, click video, and then video settings, or mode, photo, and photo settings. But now you can just flip the switch, and that's really quite handy because that's how it was on my T7i. So switching to my R, it was a little bit of a change. So I didn't get it with a lens just because I already have my R and I have the kit lens, and I'm really not a kit lens fan depending on what kind of kit lens it is. And I did not need another 24-105 because it is a lens that I only like to use when I'm shooting video. One main thing that really made me want to buy this new camera was the dual card slots. Now in here you can see it has two different slots for SD cards, here and here. And that was one of the main reasons why I really felt I needed to upgrade my camera. Being also a wedding photographer, I definitely wanted to go into 2025 more conscious of my photo safety. And one of the things was shooting on a dual SD card slot camera. Now my Canon EOS R does not have two SD card slots, and anything can happen between shooting during the day and then finishing the day, going home, and uploading your photos. That card can go corrupt at any point in time. And what do you do when it goes corrupt? You spend a bunch of money trying to restore the photos, and there's a big chance that you won't be able to get your photos back. So, with two SD card slots, you shoot and write onto two different SD cards, and if one goes corrupt, you always have the backup. And if two go corrupt, well, that is the worst luck you can ever have, and I feel so bad for you, and that sucks. And I don't think, maybe there's going to come up with cameras where there's 3 SD card slots or something like that. But right now, there's nothing you can do about that. Except hope and pray, I guess. But that is really all that you can do. So I'm trying to do the most I can. So that is shooting on 2 SD card slots. And then uploading my photos to a hard drive. Uploading my photos to an SSD. Editing the photos on an SSD. And then transferring those finished files and all of the working files onto my hard drive. And then you don't format your card until the gallery is completely delivered and you know the couple has it. And that is something that I was already doing anyways, but that is just a step that I am making sure to take this year. So then you will have 4 copies. You will have both of your SD cards, then you will have your SSD, and you will have your hard drive. And then once you upload those finished JPEGs to the gallery, you will have a JPEG gallery. So you'll have 5 backups of at least photos. So maybe the gallery won't have RAWs on them, but at least it has the finished JPEGs in case anything, in case worst comes to worst. So those are all the precautions I'm trying to take. Let me know if you guys have even any more precautions you guys are taking, because I would really like to make sure going into 2025 that I am taking all of the precautions I can be taking. I haven't had anything happen so far, but anything can happen, and I'm really trying to make sure that none of that happens. And if it does happen, at least I have things to fall back on. So, and that also means shooting on, this was also something that I was going to do, shooting on one 256 gigabyte card, and then also shooting on a 128 gigabyte card. And then say the 128 gigabyte card fills up, I swap it out with another 128 gigabyte card. So then say anything happens to that first 128 gigabyte card, you still have your second copies of later in the night, and then also your full SD card. Or if something happens to the second SD card, you still have all of your earlier day photos and that full day's worth of photos. Or if anything happens to this big one, at least you have these two separated, so they're less likely to also lose all of their photos. Which, that's just like an idea. Maybe, sometimes it confuses me a little bit. But yes, so that is the unboxing. I'm actually going to put a lens on here just so you guys can see. Now, this 70-200 lens is my absolute baby. It is the love of my life. So I want to try putting it on my camera just to see what it looks like. I also think eventually I would like to get a 28-70, and when I was at the camera store, I got to hold it and look at it, and it was beautiful and magnificent. I would love to have one. But they are also like $3,600 or something no. They are $3,200 or something like that. This was $3,600, that's for sure. Yeah, it was crazy. But, so it's not like I haven't spent that kind of money, but still, shoot. All right. Look at this bad boy. Oh yeah. Isn't this beautiful? Look at this setup. So the Canon EOS R6 Mark II with the 70-200 R series IS USM. Yes, so beautiful, isn't it? Oh, this is a 2.8 lens, by the way, as well. Isn't it so beautiful, guys? Wow. Now, I haven't shot anything on it, but I do have a wedding at the end of the month, and I'm also going to try to do a shoot between then so I can get used to using it on people before I have to actually use it on an actual wedding day. You know what I mean? Yeah. Wow. And it's just so, it feels bulkier than my R6, my EOS R. And maybe that's something that people don't quite like, but you know, I'm all right with it. It just makes it feel a little bit more substantial. I absolutely love my EOS R. If anybody out there is considering moving to mirrorless, like this is your step into mirrorless from maybe an introductory camera, I would totally recommend the Canon EOS R. It is amazing. But if you do want to be doing weddings, then maybe don't and get something maybe like this that is going to give you 2 SD card slots. Because that is pretty well the only reason why I upgraded. This camera did happen to be on sale. And you know, it is about that time to maybe upgrade, but I also really didn't feel like I was pushing the limits of my camera just yet. The only thing I really wanted was, well, I wanted 2 things. I wanted a faster shutter when I do high-speed shutter. My EOS R, it shoots like this. It's like that. That is the high speed. But this camera is definitely much faster than that. And I wanted faster for sure, but I mainly just wanted the 2 SD card slots. And so I reluctantly upgraded, but also I'm very excited. You know, who isn't excited about having new, nice, fancy camera gear? It is so amazing and fun, but I also will definitely miss getting to use my R on a daily basis, because it will be demoted down to a backup, sadly. Maybe I could use it for families and stuff like that, but also, you know, I don't know. It'll be put in my camera bag and used as a backup, just in case. Okay, so that is all for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you liked it somewhat. It's kind of like a really simple version of an unboxing. I'm really not like a tech person. I love all the intricate things about cameras and stuff like that, but it's not something that I'm smart enough to discuss. Like, I know it, but like discussing it, I'm worried I'm going to spew something that's completely false. So that is all for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked it, please like the video, subscribe to my channel for more of my videos, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!